Welcome to the Fall Turf Festival at Gulfstream Park West. It's Ron Nicoletti along here with Katie's Day, Zach, and it is a beautiful day today in South Florida. We have a fast main track, we have a firm turf course, and we have a really nice carryover starting to build in the Rainbow Six, which starts in race number 5 today. It's getting up there near $10,000, so starting to build, and as this thing, as it builds, you know, they bet more and more into it, see how long we can get it to go, or is someone going to hit the Rainbow Six today? So, the Rainbow Six, yeah, I'm getting so confused because I want to talk about the super high five yesterday. That was amazing. It paid how much, Katie?
$127,000, Ron. How would you like to be $127,000 richer today? I certainly would not mind. They bet over $200,000 into it in the last race yesterday.
You know, we mentioned as we were going on, I said, boy, this thing is going to really skyrocket. I had no idea it would be that much. So somebody, a 50-cent wager, got $127,000 plus. And if you're not aware of this wager, we started it here at Gulfstream Park West. It is a rolling super high five. Every race, you got to pick 5 out of 5. If it's not 5 out of 5, it carryovers to the next race. It can carry over to the next day. Someone has to get the 5 out of 5 for it to be paid. And yesterday, like we said, it was 2 tickets, $127,000 each. We also have the early pick 5, which has been a lot of fun here, and a Quinella in the last race. And yesterday's Quinella paid $400 for those 2 horses in the last race. That is a $5 Quinella. So we got a beautiful day, as I mentioned. We got a fast main track, a firm turf course. Before we delve into the Sunday card, let's see what's tweeting around the country. Katie, the first tweet, the horse is arriving for the Breeders' Cup, War Emblem.
This is War Emblem. He's coming here to old friends. He's being retired.
Oh, he's being retired.
This is War Emblem, our Kentucky Derby winner from 2002. He was just purchased. They had an agreement. They bought him from the Japan Breeders Association, and he's coming over. America's going to be his home again. This is just fantastic. It's so nice to see him back. War Emblem was actually the first Derby I really ever watched and handicapped as a kid. I have War Emblem to thank for really bringing me into the sport.
Did you pick him as the winner?
I did.
Oh, that's even better. And what about Keen Ice?
Keen Ice, he breezed for the Breeders' Cup. He's heading up to the Classic, one of the major contenders after defeating American Pharaoh and pulling the upset in the Travers Stakes. His owner, Jerry Crawford of Donegal Racing, said he has not stopped smiling since that work. Keen Ice, not known to be a big workhorse, but he just seems to be improving by leaps and bounds, and they're really happy with the way he's doing. You certainly want a horse to peak around this time.
And if Tammy Fox says the horse went well, the horse went well.
Yes.
She's an excellent, those horses are very, very well. And then the other horse I want to talk about is Her Eminence.
Her Eminence won the Grade 1 Queen Elizabeth II yesterday at Keeneland. What a nice story. She was threatened by colitis last fall. This is a very serious illness. Our own Grand Shores, this hard-knocking horse that we love here in South Florida, he once suffered from colitis. It takes a lot of work to bring a horse back from this. Very, very due diligence, a lot of care, and just a big congrats and hats off to her connections for taking their time. It paid off.
Yeah, with a Grade 1 victory. I mean, that is really, really nice. So that's just a few of the things that are out there in Twitter land today. Now we're going to look at the Sunday card, and as usual, at least here, we have started the first race with a very nice turf race. It's a 1-mile turf race. Claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2 races in life. We do have 1 scratch in here, and this one hurts. That's Starship Sassy. I love this horse today, but that is for another day. So, Kitty, I scratched in here to the number 4 horse, and that's Sophia's Pride, making her local debut after running a couple of really competitive races across town against this caliber competition, including that the second-place finish last time out. She has the tactical speed, I believe, to secure a front-running trip. And if you look at this race, it's pretty light in the speed department, at least in my estimation. So I think this horse could be on or near the lead and might see the perfect trip.
I think this is one that's really coming into her own. She was off for 8 months. This is her 4th start back. She seems to be getting better and better. And last time out was only the 4th turf start of her career. So really coming into her own on this surface as well. She has found her ideal distance at 1 mile on the grass.
Well, who else did you use? In second, you used Blavatsky.
Actually, I put Blavatsky on top in this race. I guess they didn't Numbers are a little off there with the selections here. I have the 7, 4, and 1. They're missing a third selection there. Blavatsky from the Antonio Sano barn broke through with a length and a half score against $35,000 maiden claimers on October 1st. Earned a field high last out buyer of a 75 that day. I think she finds a great spot to face winners for the first time. And she's only finished off the board once in her 4-race career. That was when she tried stretching out. So I think she just finds a very good fit, though she will have to contend with more experienced runners.
I'm sorry, Katie. I threw in the 3 in here, and that's Ali Cruz. And this one is stretching out to a mile and adding blinkers today after rallying forward to finish 4th behind a repeat winner. That winner was called L.A. Style. That was going 7.5 furlongs. I think L.A. Style won by about 9 lengths that day. So this horse, what I liked about her, she won her only previous race on this turf course. It's an angle we've been watching, and it's doing pretty well here. If they've run here in the past, they seem to run here again, and we're talking about, shipping it from either out of town or Gulfstream Park to Gulfstream Park West, either on the main track or like this on the turf.
Like sister tracks, they're very different.
Yeah.
The Gulfstream plays a lot faster, and the Gulfstream Park West, the surface is a bit deeper, so you have to take a certain liking to it. Definitely worth noting in the past performances whether the horse has previous experience and consequently previous success here at Gulfstream Park West.
Well, what about the one, Rockin' Rhonda?
I scratched into this one with the scratch of Starship Sassy. This one made a late bid for 4th behind Sophia's Pride that we both like in this race last time out. Is there enough speed for her to close into in this race? I'm not so sure. I think she's going to need to lay a little bit closer to do so and get a piece of this, but she's been consistently competitive at this level.
After the scratch of my top pick in here, I went looking around, and I came up with the number 5, and that is Samus. This one goes to the Marcus Vitale bond, B of the claim, stretches out to a mile on the grass after, tracking the pace, finishing 4th as the favorite. That was 6 furlongs. It was up at Saratoga. It was against $16,000. 2 lifetime claimers on the dirt. I think this one is going to be a pace factor, stretching out from those sprints to a route on the grass. Didn't fare well in its only previous turf race, but I just think this horse might be part of that pace scenario, so I threw it on the ticket, and love the work, as we mentioned a couple of times, that Matthew Rispoli has been doing here, and he'll be riding that horse for Marcus Vitale, so maybe a little bit of a speed play in there. Let's go to race number 2 today. 6 furlongs claimers. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, $6,250. Clean slate, no scratches, no jockey changes. Want to go back and show you the performance of the horse that Katie has on top of her ticket. I have in second, and that is Climate Change.
This is a game little horse. I want to show you her performance back from September 18th. Going to duel throughout the lead. You see her right in the middle of horses here, rallying with the yellow polka dotted silks and the purple. Duels through the lane, kind of brushes with her rival, but she keeps on coming in the stretch. She's only going to be beaten a half length here. Really gets into some tight quarters at certain parts of the stretch. Comes on well. This was her first try at a mile, which I really thought was too far for her. She turns back to her preferred distance today, and I think she's going to really rebound on that and should sit the trip behind a strong speed presence in here, especially you got Jolena Joe, Spring Forward Alex, Skippy is back. They're all going to be showing speed. I think she'll sit just behind it.
Yeah, the horse that you have in second, I have in top, is the horse you just mentioned. That's Spring Forward Alex. On this track, 4 races, a win and a third. Returns after ending her summer campaign with back-to-back victories against this caliber competition. Marcial Navarro is the trainer, and Tyler Gaffleone, who no longer has the apprentice allowance, will tote the COA high weight in the air of 123 pounds. And it's hard to separate these top 2. I would get an exacta box. And the horse you talked about that I had the third was the 4 Jolena Joe. Shows a couple of really solid 3 furlong drills in preparation for a first start. Since facing better, I thought, on both turf and dirt, but more than a year ago.
Yes, was quite a while ago, and I think coming back is going to show quite a bit of speed today. That's why I went with another speed play in third, Benny First Baby. This one should sit just off the pace again here. Ran a respectable third at this level and distance on September 13th off a nearly 2-month layoff, when also dropping out of a state-bred allowance, so should be fitter again, second start back.
Well, let's go to race number 3 on the Sunday card. Once again, fast main track, firm turf course, 6.5 furlongs, claimers, fillies and mares, 3 and up, non-winners of 2 races in life, $6,250, 7 horses in the race. Katie and I both went with the number 1 horse in here, and that is Wildcat Magic.
Let's put the stamp of approval on this race. We're in complete agreement here. Wildcat Magic dropped to this level in our last start, really responded to the class relief, dueled while 3 wide, just got nosed out at the wire, finished second by a neck. That was on September 27th. She's the only speed in this spot. We talked about the last race. There's a lot of speed. She's the only speed here. The trip should really work out for her, even though she has to carry her speed that extra 16th of a mile.
You know, number 4 Kicking In is certainly eligible to show more today after returning from about an 8-month layoff. To finish a trouble third, was steadied a little bit in that race, and that was behind Wildcat Magic. Trainer Sandra Silvka has Jose Caraballo in the saddle, so they're going to be a rematch today between these two. This one had a little bit of an excuse, getting steadied behind Wildcat Magic, and I see these two probably as 1-2 on my ticket.
Absolutely, and that race was her first start in 8 months. She should be much fitter and stronger today, have more of a punch to that kick.
Well, number 6, Starship Trouble, certainly lived up to her name last time out. She encountered trouble at the start. She was steadied in that race. She finished 4th behind who? So it is a rematch with the top 2 selections in here. Wildcat Magic, 4 Kicking In, and number 6,
Starship Trouble.
Yeah, I got trouble saying that. 4th race today, 5 furlongs on the turf. Maiden claim is 3-year-olds and up, $12,500. Scratch the number 7 in here. And this horse, if you liked it, will be running again on Wednesday. We got the entries, and I happened to spot it this morning when I was looking at the Wednesday entries. So scratch the number 7. And please note that the number 1 horse in this race is a gelding. I went with the number 6 in here, Katie, and that is Kirky's Dream, debuting locally for trainer Aubrey Mirage after shipping from Laurel to Indiana Grand and finishing 3rd in front of a pair of next out winners. So it was a key race there, was going 5 furlongs on the turf. This is a well-traveled, speedy gelding, has Jose Alvarez in the saddle today, and I think this horse is going to get interested early and try and play catch me if you can.
My only concern with this horse is shipping in how will that form translate. I think he's going to be facing a little bit tougher competition today than he has been along his travels up on in the Northeast Mid-Atlantic circuit. That was my only concern. That's why I went with the 9 Radamel, who has more experience locally. This one, a tepid choice, though, still among this group, because he's 0 for 15. He certainly has had his chances, but last time out, set the pace, took the lead into mid-stretch, was collared in deep stretch by a heavy favorite that day in Super Secret. The 3 best horses in here, in my opinion. You have someone different in 3rd, but the 2 best horses, they both have speed, so we're going to see who's able to go out there and go longer.
Well, I had to scratch. I had the 7 horse on my ticket. I went with the 3, and that's Honest Herb. This one is getting Lasix today. Finished 5th in its first race at this distance, going 5 furlongs the grass. Proved a little bit. It finished 4th last time out. Both of these were across town at Gulfstream Park. Now getting Lasix this afternoon. I think this horse can certainly improve a little bit more, and certainly, if not win, be on the ticket somewhere.
I can feel the same way about the 2 Gunnery. Getting back on the turf course today, turning back in distance, making his second start off nearly a 3-month layoff. All of those factors should work in his favor and lead to an improved performance in this spot.
Well, the Rainbow Six is going to start in race number 5. We said it's getting near the $10,000 mark. And don't forget, throughout the day, we got those rolling super high fives. What fun that has been. And, of course, the Rainbow Six always been fun for the last couple of years at Gulfstream Park and at Gulfstream Park West. This one, 1 mile claim is 3-year-olds and upward. Non-winners of 3 races in life or 3-year-olds. We have a full field in here of 10 runners to kick off the Rainbow Six. And both Katie and I went with the number 3. It looks like the logical horse to me. And that is Boom Boom Frankie, moving to the Maciel Nevada barn.
I think a lot of other people in this race are probably saying, man, this horse again, because he is really able to exploit the conditions to their fullest extent. He's a 4-time winner in this race. This is for non-winners of 3, but he's a 3-year-old, so he's able to get in. No problem making a surface switch to the main track last time out. Picked off horses along the backstretch, kicked clear to a comfortable score at the level and distance. Now running for a barn that is 40% in dirt races, dirt claiming races, with a tag below $10,000 in the past year. He's just the class in here.
Well, I'm going to go with a horse in second that's also on a pretty good roll right now, and that is the number 4 and Tie the Knot. Stepping up today, the competition, after posting back-to-back victories going a mile across town. The trainer was Leo Gabriel Jr., and you got Tyler Gaffleone in the saddle today. So I just think the recent form, good jock, good connections. I think this horse got to prove it can run against this level of competition, but I like the fact that this horse is 8-1 on the line, and maybe I'll get a little bit of a price with the exact. I think we both have probably the logical horse on top, so looking for a little bit of a price in second. Hope I get anything close to 8-1 on a horse that's going for its third consecutive victory. You went with the number 9 in third, who I have second, who I have a third, and that is Speed Trap.
We both used him, and he both deserves a spot on the ticket. Rallied for more than 10 lengths off the pace to finish second. He was only beaten a neck by a horse named Handpicked last time out, who's been first or second in 5 straight starts. That was on September 27th. May need to sit a little bit closer to the pace today like he did in his previous starts, 2 and 3 back, if he wants to win. There's not an abundance of speed here, but he's a very consistent performer at this level.
And he really likes this track. He's had 6 previous races here with a win and 2/3, so 3 for 6 in the money, 50%. But they got to think about changing his name from Speed Trap, maybe the Closer Trap, because he doesn't have that much speed. He does come from off the pace, but loves this surface. So, horse, I think you got to have on your ticket. Who else did you use, Katie?
I used Slicka, returned from a 2-month freshening last time to get up for third, just a length behind Speed Trap last time out. Again, should sit just off the pace. His kick might be a little bit stronger as well. Second start off that layoff.
Well, let's go to race number 6, and this is our final pick 5 of the afternoon, and it's a 1-mile turf event. Claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, $10,000. Scratch the number 6 horse in here, Libra 4, and I went with the number 5, Katie in here, Vipera, shipping in after, I thought, a consistent turf campaign at Monmouth in Delaware, in which she posted a win and a pair of second-place finishes in her 3 recent grass races, I guess, against a similar quality. The only concern I had for this Jane Sibeli trainee, 0 for 3 on the Gulfstream Park West turf course. So I'm going on the recent form. I'm thinking maybe she can finally get that win here.
I hope so. I'd like to see this one do well. Such a consistent runner. She's dropped a claiming level or 2 since she really was very dominant during the championship meet at Gulfstream. But like you mentioned, 0 for 3 at Gulfstream Park West. Not only no wins, but didn't hit the board at all. So that was my concern with Vipera. But you have to respect that barn.
Yeah, the barn, they're doing good. They've run just a couple of horses thus far, just getting started, and only got a victory at the Gulfstream Park West meeting. The logical favorite in here, and I believe the morning line favorite, is the number 3, Starship Shorty.
Shoddy, however you want to say it. I always feel like we're on this rap music show when we're talking about this horse. I think she's really sitting on a winning performance today. She's notched 2 straight third-place efforts at this level of competition. Once on the turf, once in an off-turf contest on a sloppy main track. She's a 9-time winner. 5 of those wins came at this mile distance, and 3 came here at Gulfstream Park West.
Yeah, she's had 11 races here with 3 wins, 3 seconds, and 2/3. So that's 8 for 11 in the money on this turf course. The complete opposite of the horse I have on top of Vipera. But this one, as you mentioned, doing good. She crossed town, loves this distance, and her ability to stalk the shaky early pace scenario I see in here can turn out to be her biggest asset.
Absolutely. Who else did you use in here?
You're taking my line away. I'm supposed to say that. Number 4, Marie's Music, appears to be the speed of the speed in this wide open race and should be in the first flight playing Catch Me If You Can. Ronnie Gaffney is the trainer. Got a really solid front running jock, Eduardo Nunez, in the saddle there. So I'm looking at a speed play here. This horse gets loose, got a chance to steal it.
Absolutely. The only other slight speed I see other than Marie's Music is maybe Secret Fascination, but Marie's Music definitely going to be the one to catch in here. I threw in the 8, one of my favorite names, La Pantalones Fancy, French fancy pants. It just sounds so much better. She's going to return to the claiming ranks today after a try in a state-bred allowance. She employed the same class drop 2 starts back, dropped out of a couple optional claimers, and she pulled a big upset at the $12,500 claiming level. She's a 4-time winner at the distance, so I threw her in, though I do have to admit I scratched into her with the scratch of the 6 Libra 4.
Well, let's go to race number 7 this afternoon. It's 6 furlongs, maiden special weight, 3-year-olds and up. And what a nice race this is. 10 runners in the field. Katie and I both went. Talking about nice names, this one's really cute. It's number 3. It's GPS, but it, as you can see, the spelling is distance, not just GPS. They spell it out. So pretty nice. I think this one should be primed and ready to score after that promising career debut at the distance, which he set the early pace in that race and held on to finish second. The trainer is Michelle Nevin. She's really good with maidens making her second start, always around the 20% level here. Eddie Castro, this is a gelded son of Candy Ride.
Set the pace, dueled throughout the stretch, and again, held on for second. If it says anything, the horse that he was up there dueling with faded to 7th, so that was pretty impressive. And if you think about it, the Damn Navigator, she broke her maiden in her second start, so maybe this one will follow in her footsteps.
You know, trainer Ralph Nix, who won the training title at the Summer Meet at Gulfstream Park, has 2 horses in this race, and one of them is the number 7 Super Surfer, and the other one is the number 9 Tis My Way. Katie, you used the 7 in here. I'll let you talk about that because I used the 9 in the 3rd position, so let's hear why you used the 7 in here.
This is actually his first start for the Ralph Nix barn. He's been off for nearly 7 months. He's a former $240,000 purchase, hasn't run since March, and he has been beaten double digits in his first 2 starts. But he really ran against some tough competition in those races. The winner of his debut, Materiality, winner of the Grade 1 Florida Derby. Second start, produced 4 next out winners. I think he's running for a red-hot barn now and could really improve, as you've seen Nix do with so many new additions to the barn that he's gotten this summer.
Another horse I use, Katie, on a ticket is the 4 Never Give In, who finished a well-met 3rd at this distance. That was on the main track during June. Now goes back to the dirt today and cuts back to a sprint distance after a 3-race campaign on the turf in which he hit the board in a pair of 5 furlong races and was stalk and fade 7th. That was racing around 2 turns last time out, 7.5 furlongs across down on the turf. Same thing as here, is around 2 turns. I think going back to the main track, going back to sprinting is going to be the key for number 4 Give In. 6-1 on the morning line.
We have a lot of options here in this race. Outside of the 3, Ron and I have completely different horses. I threw in the 2, Awesome Sting. This is a gelded son of Awesome, again, making his first career start today, doing it for trainer Ramon Morales, who's 24% with his first timers. I really like the work pattern, and it's improving. I really like the looks of his last 2 breezes. They seem to be his best, so peaking for his debut. 2 winning siblings in his family.
Well, the other part of the Ralph Nix uncoupled entry is the number 9 Tis My Way, and this one is a half brother to $1.3 million earner Tisway, and one, as I mentioned, of 2 in the race for Ralph Nix. Is expected to show more after finishing a distant 5th, but that was behind the horse that we both have on top of the ticket, GPS, in their respective debuts. Ralph Nix 27% with maidens making their second start. Luca Panici's going to ride here. Gaffleone's going to ride the 7 in here. You know the old adage of the longer price of the uncoupled entry. Nice breeding on this horse, so we'll see how Ralph Nix fares with his uncoupled entry in here. Maybe he'll run one too.
You're getting 10-1 in a Ralph Nix maiden. That is, I would jump on that.
Right. Let's go to race number 8 today. 1 mile on the turf. It's an allowance. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Very nice. $39,000 purse. Scratch number 6 horse in here, Lucky Pinot. And please note that the number 3, Dradali, wore blinkers in its last race and is going to wear blinkers again this afternoon. I went with the 4 in here, Sweet Miri. You went with the 5, Standard Deal.
And I'm glad to see that you use Standard Deal as well. This one, stakes placed on dirt, but is really starting to come into her own on the grass. She finished 4th in the Summer Wind Stakes in August behind Katie's Kiss, just won yesterday, and Huasca, another very classy filly that we've talked about. Then she stretched out to a mile, dueled on the lead, finished 3rd, beaten just a length and 3/4. This is a paceless race in my opinion. I don't see a whole lot of speed in here. I think that means it's her race to lose. She can establish a comfortable lead and go all the way.
Yeah, I mean, you got to respect her class in this spot. She's absolutely the one to beat in here. But I did go with the 4, Sweet Miri, is stretching out slightly to a mile. Returned from a 2-month freshening to rally 5 wide in that race. Finished 3rd against similar opposition. That was going 7.5 furlongs. Joe Cantonese, the 3rd third is the trainer, or we like to call him Joey, Tab's apprentice, Harry Hernandez to ride. So I'm just trying to get this horse maybe to score at a little bit of a price in here. He's second choice. He's actually second choice on the morning line. I thought he'd be a little bigger price. I thought Standard Deal would lower in here. Who else did you use?
I used Discreetly Grand, another from the Ralph Nix barn, debuting for the barn in a great spot. She's made 2 of her last 3 starts in stakes, and last time out she was second in a Louisiana bred stake at Evangeline Downs. That race came off the turf that day, but her 2 wins have indeed come on the grass. Just one work here, but it's solid. We'll see how she holds up against Open Company here in Florida.
Well, I went with the number 11 on my ticket. Hold Me Down is stretching out to a mile after shipping in from Monmouth to run a fast closing second in front of Sweet Miri. So I like these both, so I had to use them on my ticket. That was a career turf but debut going 7.5 furlongs. The only knock you, if you want to find one, is a little bit of a tough outside post, but not too bad when you're going a mile.
Well, the rail isn't always the greatest either, so it's all about how the trip works out, and we've certainly seen a few outside posts come in at this meet in the past few days.
Let's go to race number 9 today, the first half of the late daily double, 5.5 furlongs, maiden claimers, 2-year-olds, $25,000. The 8-horse will not run with Lasix, and blinkers off, number 6 in there. We'll get you all those changes updated as soon as we get off. Pete Aiello, our track announcer, will update you on everything. Want to go back and show you the performance of the horse. Both Katie and I have a top of my ticket, and that is Cataclysmic, and that was back on September 4th.
Let's take a look back at this race. Cataclysmic is the 6 in here, dueling up on the lead. You're going to see down on the rail, finishes 4th, going to fade a little bit as the closers come in this race, but finishing behind a horse that's second in here, the now stakes-winning Golden Pirate. This was Cataclysmic's debut, was at 6 furlongs, and I think that the 16th of a mile turn back for this horse, a horse that you know that's going to show speed, will really suit him, and I don't see a lot of other committed speed in here. We know Wesley Wards can go out of the gate, so we'll see if anyone can keep up.
Yeah, I like Cataclysmic in that spot, too. We both used a 10 donation in second to depart from an outside post. Going 5.5 furlongs, rallied last time, finished 3rd behind the next out winner called Golden Pirate, and in front of Cataclysmic last time out. Antonio Chiaffi is the trainer. 2nd time blinkers for this assignment.
We talked about the post in the last race. I don't love the 10 post with this one, and he's going to need to sit a little bit closer to the pace if he wants to catch Cataclysmic today, since there's a lack of other speed.
And what about the 2, Frank Beebe?
Returning to the main track today for trainer Larry Pilati, and she's returning to maiden claiming competition. Was well beaten in a maiden special at 5/8 on the grass last time out, but in her previous 2 starts, she was 3rd against $50,000 maiden claimers on dirt. Think she's found the ideal competition level. Tell me about the Winter Island.
Oh, yeah, Winter Island, is one I mentioned, is not going to run with Lasix. Gelded son of Stephen Gott, even debuting for Trad Stewart. 12 workouts, but those workouts are on the farm. So this horse coming in, bit of an unknown. He's going to start his career with Jose Caraballo in the saddle today. And just like the work that this guy does, and you just watch the horse when he comes in the post parade, someone you might want to throw on your ticket. He's 10-1 on the morning line, making his debut off those works on the farm, but an awful lot of works on the farm, so maybe he'll be ready to go. Let's go to the 10th and final race this afternoon. 1 mile on the turf, maiden special weight fillies, 2-year-olds. Scratch the 1, the 13, and the number 14. And I like the number 2, Tizjet, in here, and I see that you do too.
I do. Let's take a look at a race, the last race from Tizjet. This is back on October 3rd. This is actually the Our Dear Peggy Stakes. Tizjet makes a wide bid in here, actually gets up for 3rd. This is her first start at a turf mile. It's in a stake, so she's stakes placed. She's really going to appreciate the class relief today. Take a look at her again, wide, gonna keep going on. I love the winner of this race, Andrea's Reward. I think she's super talented, and I think coming out of that race, she'll be just fine in this spot.
Yeah, I mean, going from a stake back with maidens, you just think that this is the one to beat in there. A couple of horses from Todd Pletcher in here. One of them is number 8, Lyra. This one, is making a career debut on the turf with strong breeding on both sides of the family tree. It's a daughter of Giants Causeway out of the Woodman mare. Larisi Edgar Zayas will be in the saddle this afternoon. How could you not like a horse bred like that?
Giants Causeway, 2 winning siblings, love it. She's had the opportunity to train on the turf course up at the Oklahoma at Saratoga. Definitely one to have on the ticket.
You also used the other one on the ticket, didn't you?
I did, and I'm going to give you a warning. Her name is American Doll, but she does not look like her name. This might be the largest 2-year-old I've ever seen. She is a big one. She debuted at a mile and a 16th. She definitely might want to go longer because she's so big and learning how to figure out how to use that body, but she's coming out of a much tougher race at Saratoga. We'll see how she does here today.
Yeah, I closed it out with the 5 run. Alex Run stretching out to a mile. Promising turf debut at 7.5 furlongs in which he rallied 5 wide to finish second. She was 15-1. You got to use this one on your super high 5 ticket. We told you about all the excitement in that bet yesterday with someone, 2 lucky patrons getting $127,000 each. It's been a huge success here. It's been an awful lot of fun. And don't forget, we also have the early pick 5, which starts in race number 1, first 5 races, mandatory payout every